Hey guys, this is Kingelffe, and welcome to our first entry into the Minecraft Encyclopedia. Today we're going to be looking at nether portals and all the mechanics that make them work, or in some cases, not work. Alright, first things first, how do we make a nether portal? A nether portal is a 5x4 hollow structure of obsidian, constructed like so. So you're going to need 14 pieces of obsidian, or 10 if you leave out the corners, to build it. Once you got it, light the middle, and you'll get your nether portal. Works the same without the corners. So that's your minimum size for a nether portal. Any smaller than that, and when you light it, nothing's going to happen. Your maximum size for a nether portal is 23 by 23. And just like with the minimum size, when you light it, you get your nether portal. Any larger, and nothing's going to happen again. So when you go through Nether portal, the game does a quick calculation to determine your destination location. If you're in the overworld, it divides your x and z coordinates by 8, ignoring the y coordinate. And if you're in the Nether, it multiplies your x and z coordinates by 8. After the game does the calculations, it'll look for an active portal within 128 blocks of the x and z axis of the destination location, linking with the closest portal to that location, meaning that there's actually no such thing as two linked portals in Minecraft. It's actually that calculation and search being done every single time you step through the nether portal. Alright, let's do a little demonstration of how the portal destinations work. I've set up a nice little checkerboard here so that you guys can gauge the distance between all the portals. And our portal in the nether is at X44 and Z9. So when this is all said and done, it'll perfectly link up with that portal right there. But we're going to start over here. So this is the original portal that I made in this test world. It's at X330 and Z91. And when we step through it, we're going to go to our portal in the nether. This is the one that I told you about earlier. So when we go back through, we're going to go back to this portal here, because once it did the calculations, it determined that, oh, of course it's raining, it determined that this was the closest active portal to those coordinates right there. So now if we were to light this portal, and let's go back through our original portal, and when we step back through into the overworld, we'll go to the one that we just lit, because now this is the closest active portal to those coordinates over there. And once again, if we light up this portal here, so these are the exact coordinates multiplied by those nether coordinates. We go back through either of these portals, we'll go back to the original one, and we step back through into the overworld. We're now at the proper location. Now, let's say that you step through the portal and the game does its calculation and it does its search and it finds no active portals in the area. What the game will do next is it'll look for a 3x4 area with a 4 air block area above it within 16 blocks of the X and Z axis of the calculated destination. And if it finds one, then it'll make a portal there, and that'll be your new portal home. You can then do your calculations to link it up with the proper destination if you want to. If it fails that check, then the next thing it'll do is it'll look for a 1x4 area with 4 air blocks above it within the same search area, 16 blocks of the destination location. And if it finds one of those, then that'll be the new portal home. But if both checks fail, which does happen sometimes, let's say you make a portal and the destination location is over a giant lava lake, happens then, I'm sure that you guys have seen a structure kind of like this. So what the game will do is it'll make a 2x3 obsidian structure, and it'll make the portal on top of that. Let's say it's inside a wall, it'll clear out a 3 air block area as well around the portal. Let's take a second to talk about active portals. I've mentioned them a few times, but I haven't actually explained what they are. It seems like a safe assumption to just say this structure right here is an active portal, but that's not entirely true. An active portal is actually just obsidian blocks with portal blocks on top of it. So these two blocks right here are the only active portal blocks in the structure. The rest of them are just necessary to build the portal and keep it open. So if you were doing a destination location search, and these blocks right here were the cutoff to that 128 block radius, this would not be a detectable active portal. It would look for anything else in this area over here. On the topic of active portal blocks, they actually have another unique property that the rest of the portal does not share, and that's that they have a chance to spawn zombie pigmen. Ever come home and found a zombie pigman wandering around your base near the nether portal? Well, that's where he came from. So there's actually a very low chance of this happening every time the active portal block is ticked. On easy, there's a 0.05% chance of it happening. On normal, there's a 0.1% chance of it happening, and on hard, there's a 0.15% chance of it happening. Yet somehow, every time I come home to my base, there's a zombie pigman staring me in the face. Now, this is probably one of the coolest things I learned during my research into nether portals. When you pass an entity through a nether portal, the chunk that the nether portal's in and the chunks around it all get loaded for 15 seconds, meaning that you can actually make a chunk loader with nether portals in vanilla Minecraft. You've just gotta find a way to keep passing entities through the portal. So whether it be with a dropper or a dispenser or whatever it may be, you can do it. So we're going to go do a little example of that in a second. Not a chunk loader, but how the chunks are loaded. But first we're going to break it down a little bit. So we're not going to go over too much of how chunk loading works in this video, because that's actually what my next video is going to be about. But we will talk about this. Each chunk has a load level, and if the load level is lower than 32, then entities can well, do things. They can pass into hoppers. They're loaded. So the chunk that the nether portal is in, when an entity passes through it, it gets a chunk load level of 30. And the chunks around it get a load level of 31. And that keeps going out from there. So the ones around the 31 levels will get a 32 level, and so on and so forth. Now it's time to do that example. We're going to have some fun with this one here. You can probably see the TNT in my inventory. We're going to go through and take a look at the setup here. So on the other side of the portal, I've got a few pressure plates here, some redstone underneath, and some TNT. So if we pull up the chunk borders using F3 and G, you'll see, oh, okay, that was close. I almost detonated it by accident. This is the chunk with the nether portal in it, so this has the load level of 30, and the next chunk over has the load level of 31. So all of these blocks that are going to be blown up by the TNT and the TNT itself are going to be loaded as soon as we throw entities through the portal. So let's head back through and give it a few seconds to unload. We need to give it 15 seconds about. So I'll just explain this real quick. When we're throwing entities through the portal, it is actually directional. So if I throw items through on this side, they may appear on this side of the portal, on the nether side, and vice versa if I threw it through this side. So we're going to throw a few items through each side of the portal just to demonstrate that. So should be unloaded by now. Let's toss some iron through on this side, and some iron through on this side, and give it a few seconds to detonate over there. We should find some iron on both, well, on one side of the portal and blown up on the other side. So, a few should have gone by now, so let's head through. And TNT is exploded. Bit of iron over here, bit of iron over here. Another thing to mention is that almost any entity can go through the nether portal. There are only a few exceptions. Number one is the Ender Dragon, for obvious reasons. Number two is the Wither Boss, once again, for obvious reasons. And the last one is a minecart or a boat or any transportation with a player or a mob in it. So you can actually send minecarts on their own and hopper minecarts and chest minecarts through the nether portal, even if they're filled up with items. But as soon as you throw a player or a mob in and try and head through the nether portal, nothing happens, as you can see. But as soon as we jump out of this minecart, boom, gone. So those are the exceptions for what can and can't go through a nether portal. And there you have it, guys. That should be all the information that you need on nether portals to do some pretty cool stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys all do. And I'm definitely going to be trying some stuff out in the future here too. I want to try out one of those chunk loaders. But we're going to take a quick walk over to our encyclopedia here because we have made our first entry into the advanced mechanics. So today we went over how to create nether portals, destination location calculation, destination portal searching, game creating portals, active portal blocks, chunk loading, and entity passing. So that should be all the information you need, but if I forgot anything in this video, feel free to leave it down in the comments below so that everyone can benefit from your guys' knowledge as well as mine. And, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button and, well, let me know what you want to see in the future. As I mentioned earlier in the video, our next one's going to be on chunk loading, so I will see you guys all in the next one. Later!